So I'd like to start on the disadvantage, where I argued that in passing the minimum wage, we would actually cause a political backlash and lose in 2014. Please go to his third argument, where he says, of course people would be angry with this. They disagree and they hate it and they will backlash. Extend that argument. That proves the link part of my disadvantage, that increasing the minimum wage will anger people who are currently not angry and will force them to look back to the Republicans and back to that vote and thereby keep the Democrats from winning in 2014. He also concedes that we are on the brink of the Democrats winning in 2014. So I need you to extend both of those arguments. In the impact, he says, well, we're just going to increase the minimum wage and we're going to index it. But that argument doesn't answer my impact. Please extend my arguments that if the Republicans continue to hold the House of Representatives, they will make the Affordable Care Act horrifically difficult to get through. And they will also, oh, I've forgotten the second one I said. Whatever the second one was, I also said that they would extend that as well. Both of those prove, and the Affordable Care Act even more improves, that that is far more of a priority right now than any of the minimum wage arguments he's talking. The disadvantage clearly outweighs any advantage that the affirmative would get. Let's talk about that potential affirmative advantage. On contention number one, we talk about whether or not there is a problem in the status quo. And his basic argument right now is that families have to choose these jobs, and when they live in minimum wage, they don't make enough money. My first argument is, at the end of the day, our argument is still this: minimum wage jobs are not designed to raise a family, nor should they be. Our second argument is that families who are working minimum wage jobs need to be motivated to get out of those jobs for the long-term security and health of their families. And it is not a problem that people are working in those poverties, at least not your problem to fix. Because our argument is that most people who are working in these jobs, most people who are only able to get minimum wage jobs, are there because of their own fault. They're there because they didn't want to go to school. They're there because they didn't want to deal with the hardships of school. And yes, kids make it hard. Life is difficult. No one said education or success was going to come easy, but that doesn't demonstrate that it's a significant problem in the status quo. We don't need to make it easier. We just need to have people get out there and do what it is that the rest of the successful people are doing. It is not a significant problem in the status quo. His best argument is that it's going to cost us money as taxpayers, but again, he doesn't quantify that. So you don't know. We can have rhetoric all day long that you're spending millions of dollars on the poor people, but you're not. You don't even pay that much in taxes, for heaven's sakes. You're not spending too much on the poor people through our subsistence programs. What we really need to do is force them to want to get motivated to get off. On contention number two, I told you that he really wasn't solving anything important because he's making all the jobs that we don't want anyway. He doesn't answer that at all, extend all my arguments, which means there's no solvency for the minimum wage at all. So at the end of the day, you have a very minimal problem that you're not sure you can fix, or at least fix in the right way, and you risk the chance that the Republicans are going to keep this House of Representatives and cause a huge disadvantage. There's just no reason to change the status quo. And then he gets a rebuttal.